Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's Danielle here again. Welcome back to my channel. So, today I have my review for Arrow, as I promised. I just watched the episode this morning. It was really, really good. There were tons of Easter eggs and references in it, but I'm going to list off everything that I have noticed throughout watching the whole entire episode. So, yeah, let's get into this review, breakdown, Easter egg video, whatever you want to call it. So I just want to break down the parts that I actually noticed the most out of the whole entire episode. So we actually learn that John Diggle is getting his fix of drugs to keep his nerve damage at bay from Ricardo Diaz, the dragon. Now, obviously, this puts Diggle into a very compromised position because he didn't realize that the person that was giving him the drugs was actually doing it very, very illegally, and that he was basically in charge of a gang, essentially shipping those drugs off real cheap. So, this is actually a really big problem for Dig. I do have to say, it is a big problem for him. And it even causes some tension, I want to say, between him and Lila in the episode. You notice Lila being very, very disappointed in the fact that, A, he's doing drugs to begin with, and B, he's actually getting it from a criminal. So, obviously, that opened up an argument that they had last season. I knew that they weren't going to let that argument that Dig and Lila had towards the end of last season go. I knew they weren't just going to let it go. I knew that they were going to do something to build on that even more. And I honestly don't know what's going to happen with Dig and Lila's relationship. All I know is that this just put in what I noticed to be a little bit of tension between the two of them. In all honesty, it did look like a lot of tension between the two of them. Then we go back and forth between that and the Slade Wilson flashbacks, which it skips over quite a few years of Slade, going from leaving his son in Australia and then coming back, and ultimately his son visits him in a hospital where he was because he was essentially found on a shore or something, and they brought him to a hospital, and obviously his eye was missing. He was given an eye patch, and we learned that his son was actually the one that created the Deathstroke prototype suit. I wasn't expecting that major twist there, the fact that his son was the one that created the prototype suit for Deathstroke. And we also see a lot of stuff happening with Slade, with the Mirakuru messing with his head. We actually see him flashing back to training Ollie on Lian Yu. So we actually see the Mirakuru messing with his head a lot more, not being bad at all. It's actually messing with his head. So when he's training his son Joe, it flashes him back to training Oliver, and he essentially is blaming Ollie for him becoming the way that he is. And essentially, we also see Shadow, who was Oliver's girlfriend on Lian Yu through seasons 1 to 2, I believe. And Slade, loved Shadow. We know that Slade loved Shadow, but we see Shadow start talking to Slade in his own, twisted up head from the Mirakuru, telling him, you know who's responsible for you being so unhappy, for you being so enraged. It's Oliver. And then when Slade finally sees that Oliver has appeared on the TV screen after all those years, after he sees Oliver saying, he returned home from Lian Yu after his 5 years in hell, it just further enrages Slade, and he just goes complete savage. So it is actually really, really interesting to see those Slade flashbacks. I think that these two Slade Wilson origin story episodes were actually my favorite out of the whole season. I do have to say that those are probably my absolute favorite episodes to watch, and I think they deserve to be watched again. I will be watching those again. I'm gonna watch them again. And I just have to say, Manu Bennett, you continue to impress me every time with your acting, and you're welcome to come back to the show anytime you want, Manu. Yes. So then we actually see, well, we don't necessarily see much. We just see, like, the whole character development with Diggle and his drug problem. Well, he's not really developed a problem, because towards the end of the episode, Curtis actually offers to come up with a way to treat him, because Curtis built that chip that's in Felicity's back that keeps her walking even though she's supposed to be paralyzed. So Curtis is going to come up with some type of technology to keep Diggle's hand from shaking and getting out of control and stuff like that from the nerve damage. So that's actually a really good thing. And we see a lot of chemistry between him and Dinah Drake. Now, I hate to say this, but I do have to say that this is kind of almost in a way speaking to the Green Arrow and Black Canary romance in the comics. Because if you think about it, Dinah Drake was the name of Dinah Laurel Lance's mother in the comics. And she was romantically linked to Larry Lance. So it was Dinah Drake, the Black Canary, connected to Larry Lance, a Gotham City police detective. And then they got married, and her full name became Dinah Drake Lance. And they had a daughter, Dinah Laurel Lance, who went on to date Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. So if they end up doing a similar play off of that with Dinah Drake being romantically connected to Diggle, in a sense, if his marriage with Lila completely falls through, then that would be speaking to the classic Green Arrow Black Canary romance that I think a lot of people have been wanting, even though it's not Oliver and Laurel. I think that in a way it could work. But I am not saying that they're going to necessarily do that. I just think that it would be, pretty good. But I'm not saying that Dig should cheat on Lila in any way. It would have to be, something really, really bad to get their marriage to, completely fall apart and have him, move on with Dinah. Even though I really don't think that's going to happen. But if it does happen, I will be kind of satisfied with that, because that'll be the closest thing to a Black Canary and Green Arrow romance that we can get in the first time in a while since Oliver and Laurel from season 1 of Arrow. So I really do have to say that that could actually be a pretty good nod to comic book Green Arrow storyline with Dinah Lance being the Black Canary, but in this case it's Dinah Drake. I actually do like that. So if they take it in that direction, I'll actually kind of be pretty happy with that. I really wouldn't mind that too much at all, but it's just what I'm personally noticing just from watching more and more of the season. And then finally, a major Easter egg that they managed to drop. Okay, so they do mention Slade's other son, Grant Wilson. Okay, yes. Because after his son Joe essentially committed suicide, he's I have to go and find my other son. So he's off trying to find Grant Wilson currently, who we know is going to be essentially Deathstroke in the year 20-something. Because I did watch Legends of Tomorrow, and I watched the whole thing with Connor Hawke and Grant Wilson. So essentially that is, probably the direction they're going to take it with John Diggle's little baby boy growing up to become Connor Hawke. But I don't know if I don't know how they're gonna get John Diggle Jr. to change his name. I really don't know how they're gonna do that, but I do know this: the final major thing that they dropped in the episode. Oh my God! They show William and Felicity playing Injustice 2. Oh my God! I was secretly happy to see that, finding out finally what video game William was playing, but then I saw it was Injustice 2, and I noticed it was Injustice 2 because A, the Gorilla City background, and B, Sub-Zero and Blue Beetle, they were playing against each other as Sub-Zero and Blue Beetle, and those are characters that are available in the Injustice game. And I do have to say, I did not get the version of it for PC It's on Steam, currently available, which is like the service that we use to get games. If we don't want to buy like a full box or whatever, we can just download them from the internet after purchasing it. But the thing is that I didn't get the PC version yet because the unlimited edition, the Ultimate Edition, is like $80, which is a ridiculous price for that. And plus, they have like the other skins that are like $5.99, like Red Hood and Black Manta and all of them. Plus, Fighter Pack 3 is coming out with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, ultimately, I'm actually pretty jealous of William currently right now. I mean, come on. He gets to play Injustice 2 on a really good console. Yeah, jealousy right there. So jealous. So jealous of that. I'm like, because I've been playing Injustice 2 on a tablet, for God's sake. I haven't gotten, because we only have a PS3. We don't have PS4, so we can't play Injustice 2 on PS4. So, kind of stinks, and that's why I'm kind of jealous of William, because he gets to play the latest and greatest. Yeah. Yeah. So, I still can't get over that. Can't get over that, still. Really. I still can't get over that. I can't shake that off. But, yeah, so overall I thought that this episode was actually really, really good. It was a really decent episode, and I happened to really enjoy it. I thought that it was really cool seeing, like, the final bits of, like, the Slade Wilson flashbacks. I do have to say that that was a really good thing to do, the Deathstroke origin story, because they are trying to come out with a Deathstroke movie. So, yeah, I felt like this was a really good episode all in all. And if you guys like this video, you can comment down below and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!